Okay, I'm back again for the third leg of my trip now, which is I'm at Newport, Oregon, and I'm going to head south, continue south along the coast, probably to Crescent City, all the way to Crescent City, California. Um, and I'm going to begin my taxi to take off from this runway here. And just turn myself around. Don't really need the full runway, but I'm just going to go ahead and go to the end. There's nobody else here in this world, unless I imagine it so. So I can do whatever I want as long as I want to. This little 8-bit universe, 3D universe that I think is so cool. The first 3D graphics I ever saw on a computer in the mid-80s. But I'm kind of playing this as real as I can. So I want to do everything as textbook as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself lined up on this runway for takeoff. And I like to set these up too for future flights so that I don't have to do all this taxiing. I get myself lined up on a runway, and then I save it. I save the state and label it. Which is, I've gone ahead and saved that, which is not something that you could really do. You could with the original flight simulator. It's called user modes, and you can write your editor settings to a disk. I haven't tried to do that yet with my simulation here. I should mention, if I haven't done so already, I'm using the LinApple emulator for the Apple II in RetroPie on my Raspberry Pi retro gaming system. So did I save this? I'm going to save it again. I'm ready for takeoff here, and I'm going to be flying. I'm on a heading of 199, so I'm mostly south. I'm going to be shooting out over the ocean. So I'm ready for takeoff now, and I'm just going to full throttle up. Time is 10:09. I should be off the ground here in no time. And here we go, up and away. Look at those bits dancing, those pixels. I love my pixels. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look out the back. It's something I always love to do when I take off. I just like to see that runway starting to disappear. Um, I love how this small plane just takes such little runway to get off the ground. There's so much more of it still left under me. So I am up and away, and now I am headed out over the ocean. I mentioned in the last episode that I was going to talk about a story of Newport. I can't exactly remember. This is when I was talking about this family trip I was on, coming back up the coast of Oregon from California with my parents. And I can't exactly remember, but I think it was Newport, where we stopped, and I just remember there were a couple cities. I could be getting this mixed up with a different city. There were a couple areas, a lot of areas it seemed like on the coast of Oregon that were really big whale watching sites, and I thought it was Newport, where I'm gonna pull off on some throttle a little bit here because I find myself, I keep getting way up to 6,000 or 7,000 feet before I even know it. I'm not paying attention. This whale watching sites, and we were, like I said, I can't remember. I want to say it was Newport. I thought it was a bay, though. I thought it was called something bay, because and maybe it was. Maybe it's just not in the simulator with showing any city, any town or airport or anything there. But one of these small towns here on the coast of Oregon, we did stop, and we saw, you could see whales out on the water. Kind of far away, but you could see them. I can't remember what kind of whales they were, but that was a very cool thing. And I remember it was overcast, and because this would have been in September, in the fall, and I don't know, I just remember these sort of beach towns, very touristy. Whale watching was a big thing. We stopped in this one bookstore, which might have been Newport. I remember buying a couple of books there. I remember buying a Wilhelm Reich book, which I still have, and it was kind of funny. I mean, it was The Function of the Orgasm, which is, I don't know, add a little bit of color to the video, I guess, in this possibly very bland narrative of a bland simulator that's 40 years old, at least. So anyway, that was just a memory I have, that I'll always remember that bookstore. I'll always remember those whales. It was a really good trip back in 1998. So, okay, I'm already at 4,000 feet. I'm gonna pull back on some throttle a little bit. I'm gonna tune in North Bend VOR at 112.1. Oops. 112.1, and let me see what I get. I must be too far. Again, I'm too far. But it probably is about 180, around there somewhere. The heading. Pull off a little bit on some throttle maybe. This VOR shouldn't be that far away. So I am going to probably pull away here, although I'm wanting to get a reading here, and I feel like it's going to show up any minute now. But that's okay. I've got, like I said, I've got other things to do. So, and this is going to be a long flight. So I am going to go ahead and step away for the moment. Whoops. Look out back and see Newport. I'm going to step away, and I'll come back when the next interesting thing that comes up. So blessings be. See you soon. Okay, some interesting features that showed up here. I believe that is North Bend. There's like a bay there. And I did get a reading come up for North Bend, 24.4 miles out. And yeah, so I'm just gonna let that run. I don't think I'm gonna land there. I'm gonna fly over North Bend, and then I'm going to aim for Crescent City, south. So I just wanted to kind of chime in and show some new scenery coming up. So that's where we are. Okay, just wanted to show that. This is pretty cool, whatever is coming up here. Probably the airport. That's how exciting it is for me when new things show up. This would have been a cool airport to land at, but I'm just gonna keep on rolling, I think. I would possibly try to dial in. Maybe I will try to dial in at Crescent City, but I don't think that's pretty far away still. So I don't think it's gonna come up. I mean, I was only like, I don't know, we'll see. Let me just check here. Crescent City is at 109. and there really isn't anything showing up for that. It's quite a ways away still. Here we are, still approaching North Bend. Oh, must be the airport just showed up right there. But that black is actually, that's going to be city. That's how Flight Simulator 2 delineates cities. So North Bend must be a sizable town or city, at least, in order for it to register on here with some black. I always thought that was a little hokey. I think I feel like gray would have been a better option, but maybe gray is not, I'm not sure if that's available on an Apple II as part of the color palette. For some reason they just chose not to use it in Flight Simulator. I just want to show this cool town of North Bend, Oregon. I gotta say, like I've said before, that Flight Simulator, the scenery discs, they oh, this looks like one of those white airports. I do like those. I like when the runways are white. They look pretty cool. There's a bunch of those in the San Francisco Star scenery disc. This would have been a cool one to land in, but I'm just gonna keep pressing on. Yeah, they got the water right. These kind of water features, pretty intricate. That's something that they probably didn't do very well in the stock scenery. Seattle got really messed up. It's pretty glitchy. So I think they did a little bit better job of contouring land and water features in these scenery discs, even though they don't have mountains, and that's a big pet peeve of mine. Or they largely don't have mountains where mountains should be. But like I said, on a trip like this, those mountain features are going to be in the places, the big cities that I land in or take off from. Seattle's got them. The Star Disc for San Francisco has them, and so does LA. So it's going to give it a little bit more of a feel of reality in that sense. I'm not really flying over any mountainous areas right now. I'm just following the coastline. This is just so you can see what it looks like on the radar, the overhead. One thing I was going to mention is that, it's really interesting. I don't know that at the time that Flight Simulator 2 was made, I don't believe that, this is really interesting that this is black right here. I wonder if that's supposed to indicate some sort of like docks or something, like boats or something, some sort of development. It's definitely trying to indicate that. I did notice that further out when we were coming in. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. It was something about, oh yeah, the technology back then. I always thought it was a little hokey that the radar view was so detailed, because I don't know that any radar technology, at least back then, was ever able to show you this kind of detail in a radar image. I didn't, especially not in color, but it's really invaluable for this flight simulator to have color in order to navigate. You really do need this view to help navigate. Now, the thing is that in 2023 technology, you absolutely would have views like this with GPS and maps, GPS maps, and all of the computer technology that you have available for navigation today. I mean, everybody have this in your car these days. So that is definitely not cheating. And it's really interesting, because these navigational tools really fascinate me. Using VOR stations, tuning in the high frequency radio signals, and then I believe, did I say these are omnidirectional bearing indicators or something like that? I really have enjoyed using these navigational these sort of dated navigational tools to find my way around. I think it really poses quite a challenge in this simulator. It makes it kind of a game. It gives it more of a game-like challenge to try to, find things where if you don't know where they are, find airports and features and such if you don't know where they are. And the way these things work is you have two of them, and what you do is you kind of triangulate by tuning in two towers or beacons, whatever, radio beacons, and by taking bearings on two of them, you can figure out where you are on a map. And that's essentially what GPS does, I believe. GPS does it use, I think it uses satellite. I'm actually not sure about that, but it's a very similar concept. It's the same way that cell towers can recognize you. Where you can navigate by cell towers, or where like your cell phone knows where you are, because all it does is does the same thing but with two cell towers. So it's very similar to modern navigational systems. It's just that you have to do more of the work to figure out where you are. Oh wow, I'm going down here. Not down, but descending. So anyway, that's just a really interesting thing about this simulator that I really like, because if you had GPS, it would take a lot of the fun away, I think. I mean, you kind of do with this view, but you got to do a lot of the work yourself. So anyway, just some of my thoughts on navigational technology. Okay, we got something showing up here, right? in front, but actually what I wanted to do is to show you out back. That's a really cool view of North Bend, Oregon. This airport in the front is going to be Bandon State. I'll look out the back again. And I still don't have a reading for Crescent City, but that is still a ways away. I'm not sure exactly how far, 70, 80 miles away maybe. So now I am passing Bandon State Airport, and then there's another one here that is Cape Blanco State, Denmark. That's that one right there. And I figured just by eyeballing it, I did research on Crescent City. It's actually not the name of the airport there, it's McNamara. And which I really should be cognizant of, that the VOR station is not right at the airport. It's west of it or east of it. Or wait, no, it's west of it. Wait, actually I don't know. I'm looking at my map. I think it is right at the airport. Which one? I'm trying to think. Maybe I have a change of plans. Eureka. Okay, I'm looking at a few things here. I was gonna say, let's see. There's an airport, there's a runway 17 at McNamara, and I kind of eyeballed it to where right when I got past that Bandon State Airport, that I would, if I reset my heading to 170, that should line me up pretty good with that runway, even though I'm quite far away still. Runway 17 means it's on a heading of 170. So even though I'm not picking up the VOR, whoa, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm messing up. Even though I'm not picking up the VOR yet, I can kind of eyeball things on the map to where that should work. But then I thought, you know what, that's being kind of lazy. It looks like there might be the other runway. Yeah, runway 11, which I could go out over the water and like do one of these sort of landings right over the water kind of thing. That might be kind of cool. I guess I'll figure that out when I get down there a little bit closer. But then I was also looking on here on these list of airports in this sectional, and and I saw Eureka, and I decided, I was like, oh yeah, if there's a airport for Eureka, I definitely want to stop there just for some memories of Eureka, but Crescent City too. But some kind of stories I can tell about both places. I'm just inspecting my map here. Uh, 31, 32. Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm going to even stop in Crescent City. I may have to, though, because of fuel. So I'll see how far I can get. I really probably, if I would have done this trip over, I would have stopped in North Bend, refueled there, just because it's looks like a cool place to land, and then probably continued. I would have had enough, probably would have had enough fuel to get down to Eureka. But I think I definitely do want to stop in Eureka, which isn't too far south of Crescent City. Oh, I got a reading. Okay. I am getting data from Crescent City now, 72 miles out. Let's see what the bearing indicator tells me. Okay, so my heading is actually somewhat west of, my bearing is actually somewhat west of it. But I think I'm gonna keep on my heading right now. It's probably another 30 miles beyond Crescent City to Eureka. I should be able to have enough fuel for that. I guess I'll see when I get in the neighborhood. All right, I think I'm gonna check out a little bit for now, and maybe I'll tune back in when I get closer to Crescent City.